London's Royal National Theatre. And that building gets voted by some of this country's leading architects as being the ugliest building in London. Now, I actually disagree with that. I think that that is the ugliest building in the world. Prince Charles, he actually described that building as looking like the back end of a nuclear power station. And we have to agree with Prince Charles, he knows what ugly looks like, doesn't he? Talking about buildings. Just coming up on your left now, we've got a white vessel with brown interior there, and that is the St. Catherine, and that is the former royal barge, which means that any time a member of the royal family would come onto the river, that would have been the boat that they use. They use a new one now, and that is called the Royal Nor, and you'll see that a bit later down at Wapping for those of you going to Greenwich. Another vessel coming up on your left hand side, we've got the Wellington, a former New Zealand Navy sloop. It's now permanently moored here as a drinking club for the Honourable Company of Master Mariners, retired sea captains. And to become a Master Mariner, you must have served 25 years as the captain of a ship at sea. And the head of that drinking club, believe it or not, is the Queen's husband, Prince Philip. He was a captain for a very long time, and he's the head of that club. To the stern of that boat, you can see we've got a stone archway, and that is Temple Arch or Temple Gate, and it is an official boundary line. We're now leaving the city of Westminster, and we're entering in to the city of London. Just coming up on your right now, just ahead of us, we've got a red brick building, which is known as Stamford Wharf. And the word wharf is an acronym, and it stands for Warehouse at Riverfront. That is the only place that you'll see a wharf. And this one was a cold meat storage warehouse, but the building got bought by the famous gravy company, Oxo, and they're very clever because you're not allowed to advertise on the banks of the River Thames. It's actually illegal, as this is the Queen's River. But if you look at the tower up the top, you can see that they put their windows in as OXO. And at night time, that will glow up with an luminous red colour, and they'll get free advertisement all over London. I don't know how they got away with it, but they did, and they're very clever for that. Also up the top, the Glass Canopy is a Harvey Nichols restaurant, voted one of the top 10 restaurants in London, and all that I can tell you about that restaurant is that it's very nice, it's very expensive, and I've never been there. Just coming up on your left now, a white building with a green sloping roof, which is the old City of London School for Boys, where most of our past Prime Ministers, Members of Parliament, went to school before going on to Oxford and Cambridge universities. The building itself is now owned by a very wealthy banking company called JP Morgan. Also there, if you just look in between the two cranes on top of the bridge there, you get a nice photo opportunity of St Paul's Cathedral. Just point that one out there for you. Okay, the bridge that we're about to pass under is the Blackfriars Road Bridge. These are Blackfriars Road and Blackfriars Rail. And as you'll see in a second, Blackfriars Railway Bridge is under a lot of construction at the moment. What they're actually doing here, they're building the first railway station to stand over the River Thames. We've got loads of railway lines and bridges, but this will be the first railway station. And they're also going to be building more platforms for the station on the supports from where the old bridge used to stand, and you'll see that in just 1 second. They're spending loads of money here in London on our transport system for next year's Olympic Games. So this is going to be one of the projects that they are doing now. Now we're about halfway to the tower. Are you all happy? Yes. Enjoying it? Yes. Okay. Okay, well, do we have any fans on the boats of modern art? Does anyone? A few of you. The reason I ask, coming up on your right hand side, we've got a brown brick building with a chimney, which is the old Bankside Power Station, and it is now a modern arts museum. It's called the Tate Gallery, and it is free. And if you go there, you'll see such exhibitions as a burnt-out car, a messy teenager's bedroom, half of a cow in a box, and a light that turns on and off all day long. That is what they call modern art, and that is, to me, exactly why it is free. Real art is over on your left-hand side, dominating the skyline, the dome and cross of St. Paul's Cathedral, the masterpiece of Christopher Wren. It took him 35 years to construct at the price of £750,000. Look at that building and imagine how much that would cost to build today. It stands at 365 feet high, very easy to remember, 1 foot for each day of the year. And if you look just above the dome, you'll see that there's a viewing platform. You can walk to the top of St. Paul's Cathedral and stand and look over London. And they do say that when you get to the top, you'll get the same viewing experience as you do on the London Eye. So you could potentially save yourselves a bit of money by going to St. Paul's. Now this bridge here, does anybody recognise this bridge from a movie at all?
Harry Potter.
Very good, Harry Potter, that was the one. I can't remember which one it was, but this is the Millennium Footbridge. Give the people on the bridge a wave up there. Built by Norman Foster in the year 2000. He constructed this bridge. Some nice people on the bridge today. Now, that's the one, the Wibbly Wobbly Bridge. That's it, mate. Now, does anybody like a bit of Shakespeare? Coming up on your right, just behind the trees, a white building with a brown thatched roof. That is an exact replica of Shakespeare's Globe Theatre, the only building in London to be allowed a thatched roof since the Great Fire of London. You can go there and watch a show being acted out in the traditional manner. They don't use any stage lighting or any sound effects, no microphones, and they all dress in the periodic way. The flag is flying, which means that there will be a show tonight. If you are thinking of going, I do recommend you take your jackets because it's open to the elements just like the original, and you are in London and at some point will probably get wet. Okay, so take your jackets with you if you fancy that. I think it's about £7 or £8 to go and watch a show in there, which isn't too expensive to go and watch a Shakespearean play in London. I think that that's quite reasonable. Now if you look at the bridge ahead of us, this is Southwark Road Bridge. Look up onto the bridge and you won't see very much at all. This is London's least used bridge. It was built to take some of the congestion away from the old London Bridge, but it's so well hidden in the back streets of London that nobody can actually find the bridge.